Hi! Welcome to my first official video for my garden this year. It is 2022. Today is April 3rd and I am planting a few things today. It's not quite past the last frost date yet, but I wanted to go ahead and get a few things in the ground, like some lettuces and things that can handle a little bit of cold. We hopefully only have one or two more light freezes left before I can really start planting everything else. But so for now I'm just planting some lettuces. I did some spinach and mostly just lettuce mixes and some mizuna that I'm trying for the first time this year. So I'll show you those here in a second, but first I'm just going to get these lettuces in the ground. If you want to watch with me, let me turn this around. My bib lettuce that I'm just kind of sprinkling. I don't really space these out much because I just let them grow, and then as they grow I thin them out and eat them as microgreens, but also just as leaf lettuce. Basically we just kind of cut them down and they will grow. They don't form heads, but they'll grow. Just kind of some leaf lettuce that we can munch on and have in salads and stuff. You can hear my kids in the background. They are playing Star Wars, I think, right now. So we're just gonna hopefully be able to hear over them as well. So I've got those. These are bib lettuce. I'm just gonna cover them up real lightly. Bib lettuce doesn't need to be very deep, but just kind of lightly cover them. I just made small rows that they can then just cover back up. Oh, there's a little root we don't want in there. So just lightly cover those up. So you can see here I planted some bib lettuce. And I like to put the dates on my tags just to keep an eye on how long things can take till harvest. And some things, like for my leaf lettuce, doesn't really matter, but I just like to do that just in case I forget what day it was or anything, and I try to write it down as well. But sometimes, I forget. 3 kids and busy life, so it's just helpful. This is a mesclun blend. And then I have a couple empty spots here in this bed still. I've got them marked off with some sticks just to know how much space to leave myself. I'm gonna put some marigolds in here and a few more things once after the frost. But for now I've just got some lettuces, red fire lettuce, mizuna. I'm trying for the first time this year. I went ahead and did 2 rows of that. I probably won't be able to fit both rows, but I wanted to just give it a try, and I'll thin them out and eat them as they're small. And then some spinaches. And again, we're going to plant a couple more things over here as well. So this is my first garden bed I'm really fully trying to get planted, and then I'll show you the rest of my garden here. It's a mess. We're still we have a new garden that we're making this year, like a whole new setup. So this back garden, once it's done, I don't have it full of soil and compost yet, but this back bed is going to be some squash, some melons, and then mostly I'm going to fill it with sunflowers and zinnias. I just want the backdrop of my garden to just be really pretty. I've got a potato grow bag over here. You can see I've got one. I've got another one that I got to bring down still. And then this bed, right now I have some radishes already going. Let's see, you've got my little tiny radishes starting to form and pop up, and my tags are all fading in the sunlight. I used some new markers this year because I heard they don't fade, but they are proving me wrong. This is a fire and ice radish, and I did take pictures of my tags. When I plant stuff I take pictures so I don't forget, and if they do fade then I can look back and check them out. So there's fire and ice radishes. Here are some Easter egg colored radishes. These will just be all different bright colors. And then these are watermelon radishes, which I thought would be fun. They're really bright pink and white radishes that would be fun for the kids to try especially. And then we have over here, I've got my pea trellis up. If you can see that, I know it's kind of hard to see, but there's a trellis right here made out of chicken wire and just some T-posts that my son Derek and I made together one day. It didn't take very long, you just have to zip tie it all together. But then I have some peas that are popping up. See a little one right here. I have them growing on both sides, and they'll just grow up this trellis. I actually see the one snuck down past the trellis, so I'm gonna have to direct that one over to the trellis, but we'll figure that out. It probably washed out with some rain. Let's see, we've got a couple more peas. There's one right there, a little baby pea popping up, one right here. A few of these did not germinate, so I don't know if they got washed away. We had a heavy rain after I planted these, so they could have just washed away. You see some on that side. There's a couple more right here along here as well. So I'm going to replant a few of these just to fill up the trellis, but it's really pretty when you have a full trellis full of peas. My kids and I love to just come out and snack on the peas together, so I'm looking forward to this treat this spring, and then we'll do it again in the fall on this trellis. I have some of my winter sow jugs, and these are all the ones that have sprouted already. So if you want to peek in one of these, this is all bib lettuce, and you can see that's growing really nicely. And you can tell this is like a mini little greenhouse. It keeps it nice and like it's wet. I see all the moisture on the bottle, and that soil is really nice. Let's see if I can get this to focus. Maybe. There we go. Beautiful lettuce, and I planted this. Let's see. It doesn't have a date in there, but on the outside I think I have a date somewhere. Let's see. I planted them. That's faded off, but I think it was January 31st is when these got planted. So you put them in these jugs and you set them outside in the winter. They're just taped up to keep some of the frost out, and then they sit outside and they can get covered in snow. Some people that live up north, they get covered in feet of snow, and they just keep them insulated all winter long. They will grow when they're ready to grow, when the soil is warm enough inside and when they're protected enough. And then once they do sprout, if you still have frost, just cover them with a sheet. If it's really deep frost, you just cover them with maybe a thicker blanket. But otherwise, they're little mini greenhouses, and they just do great. These are broccoli, Waltham broccoli, and it's got all kinds of stuff. I've got spinach in here. Let's see what else. We have lots of cabbages and cauliflowers, lettuces. But yeah, they're just kind of grow on their own. And then I have more over here that have not sprouted yet. These are more like tomatoes, peppers, things that need to be a little bit more warm before they will sprout and begin to grow and germinate. But they are like watermelons, squashes, all that kind of stuff. So once they have sprouted, I move them over to my other side so that I know which ones I need to cover at nights on where there's going to be frost. So, girls, you want to say hi?
Hi.
These are my girls. This is Madeline on the left. Maddie, say hi.
Hi. I said that.
And then my middle child, Grace.
Hello.
And doing some bubbles. And then my son over here, Derek. You want to say hi?
Hi. Are you making a YouTube channel?
I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
Ooh.
So, you think I should teach people about gardening, or at least maybe not teach them, but let them follow along on our journey? They may already know more than I do.
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll see. Girls, hey girls, what is your favorite thing to grow in the garden?
Watermelon and pumpkins. Yeah.
And pumpkins. Derek, what about you? Favorite thing to grow in the garden? That you like to eat, or that you like to see?
We haven't grown them yet, but ground cherries.
Oh yeah, we're trying ground cherries this year for the first time. So we're gonna give those a try.
When are you gonna do that, Mommy?
Loofah has to wait. It's not warm enough yet for loofah, but we're gonna do that this year. So we're gonna try some loofah plants for the first time, so we can make our own loofahs, right?
Mommy, are you doing what the lady does on the TV videos?
The Roots and Refuge Farm that I watch a lot of. Yeah, my kids and I watch a lot of Roots and Refuge Farm. So shout out to Roots and Refuge Farm. We've been encouraged and inspired by you guys. So yeah, thank you. This is these are my strawberries. I've got them covered up still until it gets a little bit warmer. But these are strawberries underneath all this straw. And then, oh, my dog is barking at the chickens. And then I've got garlic growing next to these winter sow jugs. Man, the straw blends in with the mulch, but they are elevated on a raised bed. So I've got 4 rows of garlic right here. I've got 4 rows of strawberries. I got my little mini greenhouse that I got for Christmas, and we're just giving this a try. I'd love a full big greenhouse one day, but for now we're just starting a few seeds, and I've got seeds inside as well. Honestly, my winter sow jugs is where I get most of my transplants from, just because it really works so well, but I also like to experiment with other stuff. So I've got a few things growing. I just started these March 20th, so not everything's germinated yet. And I forgot them outside one night when it was probably too cold. This greenhouse is not heated or insulated very well, so I'm hoping I didn't killing it off. But I do have a kohlrabi growing in there. Got some black-eyed Susans. I'm gonna try to get some pretty flowers growing up. And you can see my little thermometer. Let's see, it's showing it's about 85 degrees in there. So I opened the top to vent it because it just gets too hot otherwise. So this is, you can see I've got a little gate in the front. We're not finished attaching that yet. But I can't wait to see everything when everything's blooming and growing. It's just going to be so beautiful. And there's all my flowers in the background. If you can imagine with me, that back behind the compost bin is just going to be tall sunflowers and zinnias. And then those melons and squash will be growing around on the bottom. Probably climbing up some of the sunflowers as well. And then let's see, Derek wants me to show you guys the chickens. So we've got chickens. We've had our chickens for a year now, a year and 2 months. Here, you guys want to go in with me and we can introduce them to everybody?
Let's go in.
This is Fancy Nancy, our gray.
Fancy, come here.
Called a Lavender Orpington because she's almost like a light lavender color when the sun shines on her. Maddie, move over, babe. But she's a beautiful, beautiful Orpington. We love her. So that one right there's Mildred. You can see a little fluffy bit.
Hi, Mildred.
Hi, Mildred. And then Fancy's our gray one. Fancy Nancy. Hi, baby.
And Winco.
Yeah,
It's also
hi.
named Winco.
Hi.
It's also named Winco.
And Derek likes to call her Winco also. And then Imogene is our mama hen. Not really a mama, but I call her mama because she was our first to lay eggs. She has the biggest comb.
Hold on, she was the first
She
to
was
lay
our first one to lay eggs. Has the biggest comb. And then in here,
Stucky.
this is Stucky Stuck. Hi, baby.
Stucky.
She's trying to lay her eggs.
We
Let's
named
let
her
her some privacy.
We named her Stucky Stuck. Maddie named her Stucky Stuck because when she was a
I see
chick.
one egg.
Maddie named her Stucky Stuck because when she was just a chick.
All right, let's give her some privacy.
Like a chick. Like a baby.
When she was like just
baby.
like a chick, she kept getting stuck in between the food tray and the wall. Or was it the water tray?
It was the water tray and the wall. She got stuck between them. So Maddie, when she was naming hers, called her Stucky Stuck because she was stuck. Yeah, you're talking to us, Imogene.
Hey, Maddie, what do you want her nickname to be?
All right, let's go back out here, guys. Okay, so anyway, you met the chickens. This is our old garden that we had last year. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's just a bunch of messy dirt, mud / mulch area now. We had 5 garden beds over here last year, and this part of our yard, like the yard slopes to this area. We had a big flood last year that flooded everywhere, the whole city, and our came through our garage, filled our basement. We lost a lot of stuff, and it was a freak flood. We're not in a floodplain or anything, but this area does just stay muddy constantly. So even though the beds were raised, we did just deal with a lot of mud, and it just was hard to keep when it did rain heavy. So my raised beds are not super high, as you can see.
Some of the buckets got knocked out.
So some of the rainwater would carry mulch up excuse me, into my bed. So I never lost dirt or plants, but it was just the mulch would get everywhere. And a few plants got in the big flood. I lost a lot of my garden. Like it was under probably 7 inches of water at one point. Like you couldn't see most of my plants. So anyway, so because of all that, we ended up moving the garden this year, but I also just wanted more space because I wanted to grow more food and more flowers. We're really trying to live a more sustainable life and to provide more of our own food. So now instead of having just this small area, we have this full area with 6, 7, 8, 9 beds, including the back bed where they're gonna have a bunch of flowers, but it's also gonna be some food as well. Over here was this table area. I'm just looking forward to sitting and having morning coffee. This area is shaded in the mornings because of some of the trees. So I am looking forward to drinking my coffee out here, doing my quiet time out here, and just spending time alone. I'm going to this year because it's not in the shade in the morning, so I'm going to come out and just drink my coffee out here. And then this area right here is kind of empty. And once I clean up, I'm doing some cardboard stuff out here, but once this is all cleaned up, there's just some space right here. And so I'm going to put, first of all, we'll have some container gardens as well, like little 5-gallon buckets. We're going to line those up along the fence line. But also I'm going to get a little kiddie pool for the kids, and they're going to make their own garden as well. And they get to pick out everything that they're going to be growing. So they will be picking those soon, and we'll get that planted in the next couple weeks. Derek would like to tell you all something again.
Rhodey's a battle horse.
Okay.
Let's go, Rhodey.
You look like you're jousting.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Oh, okay.
I got
Alright, so I've got my son here helping me. We're going to plant some lavender today. I've got lavender started in some of my winter sow jugs and inside and in the greenhouse. Did you use them all already? Nope, that's all I had. Did you not get to plant the back one?
No.
That's okay. We'll just do the two in the front. That's okay. So we just planted a little bit. So now, Derek, you're just going to take your hand, bud, and just kind of very gently just cover them up with the dirt. They don't have to be very deep. Lavender seeds don't have to be very, very deep. So just kind of loosely cover it.
Okay.
And some of these big chunks of soil that are, like, we need to water this, is really dry.
Smash.
But you can just kind of smash them in there.
Smash.
Yeah, they just kind of,
I don't even know where the hole was.
well, that's okay.
Oh,
Because
piece of mulch.
and just kind of cover them up a little bit.
Let's dig for some weeds.
Because they don't have to be covered very much with lavender. They don't have to be very deep. So, all right. Can you write on there for me?
Lavender.
Here's this. Write 4, like the date, 4/3, because it's April 3rd. Right. So that is all we're doing today for lavender. I need to put a marker in here. LAVENDER. Cool. And then you're just gonna stick that, since we planted those two, like there's some here and there's some here, just maybe stick it like right there in the ground, and just so we can see the tag.
That's not very good.
It doesn't go in the other, kind of hard to. I made these, no, it's okay. I made these tags out of old blinds, actually. Another way that we try to reuse things is we just find a new purpose for them. And these, I cut up all the old blinds after we replaced them, and we made tags for the garden out of them. And so they're a little flimsy. Sometimes you gotta push them down a little bit better into the dirt. But I mean, they stand up well, they hold up well. They're just
Why is there a
hard to
baby
push
in
through
our yard?
the dirt. The
Oh,
girls,
that's just a baby
it's
doll.
a baby doll the girls brought it out to play with. So anyway, thank you, Derek, for your help with planting lavender. I appreciate it.
These look like a little teal.
They are a little tealish, aren't they?
Blue.
These are dill. We're planting
Hold on, did I put two
some
in there?
mammoth dill. We're trying to get some caterpillars here to turn into like monarch butterflies and
Monarch butterflies?
yeah. So we're trying to plant a few pollinator friendly things, and they really like dill, and also I like dill. So we're gonna have my helper here, Miss Grace, helping me plant today.
I'm not a Miss Grace.
Well,
I'm
you're-
still a kid.
I know, but you're still my little Grace. Okay. You see that one hole you missed? Need one more?
One more.
Okay, here's one more. Okay.
Your hands are dirty.
I have been garden hands, don't I? Dirty hands.
You should have put your...
Are you good? You know what? I use gloves sometimes, but I like to feel the dirt so that I know what I'm doing. I can feel it better. All right, so now, Grace, you're just going to take, they don't have to be super deep. They have to be 1/4 of an inch, which means you're just going to cover them up slightly. So watch Mommy's hand. Ready? You're going to take this dirt, and you're just going to kind of lightly push the dirt back over top of where the holes are. Okay? So you want to do those down there? You do those and just kind of cover them up with the dirt that I spread out. And we're going to just cover some of those. Got some in the corner we need to cover. And to have a little bit of dirt back on top there, but not.
Done. Also, I want to write that thingy.
Because I kind of spread that
I
out.
want to write the thing.
Oh yeah, you got to write our marker, don't you? All right, so you're going to write April 3rd, so 4-3.
4
Is the marker working okay?
dash 3.
Hold on, Derek. She's busy, bud.
I put a
And then
3.
you're going to write the word dill, which is D-I-L-L.
D-I-L-L.
Perfect. And then you're going to stick it just kind of right in this corner, because this whole section is dill. So right in the corner there.
I want to plant another...
Maddie, hold on, babe.
I wanna
Just
plant-
shove it down in the dirt.
I want to plant something else.
Well, we're going to probably do a little bit more dill somewhere else, okay? All right, Derek is going to plant a little bit more dill. We're just kind of
You
throwing
got our
some dill
guess.
in some corners. And we've got a little guest friend here with us, little wormy.
How many in each?
Just put one in each hole.
Oh, I put 2 in that one.
That's okay. 2's fine. Sometimes one doesn't grow, so that one hopefully will. one where the worm is if you can. Let's move him out of the way and put one right there. And then did you get one? Yeah, you got some in there already. For those of you that know me, you know that we have just a small homestead. We're not in the city technically. We live less than a quarter of a mile from Walmart. We have a lot of businesses near us, so we're definitely a little bit more city-ish than anything. And we live on less than half an acre, so our little homestead is not very big. We have plans in the future to grow. We'd love to get some goats one day, and then expand our garden even more, because I would love to do even more than what we do now. And we have our chickens. I'd love to get more chickens one day and just really do more than we're able to right now. But on our little less than half an acre, we garden a lot and we do chickens, and we just want to work at being sustainable, live a life of sustainability for ourselves, and providing as much food as we can for our family. And we've got 3 kids that I introduced you to earlier. My husband's not home right now, but I'll introduce you to him maybe on the next video. The name of our homestead is Homestead 215. In Genesis 2:15, it talks about how the Lord put Adam and Eve, or put man, into the Garden of Eden, and that we were put there to take care of it. And so for me, I care a lot about creation and a lot about taking care of God's creation, and I know that we are called to take care of the earth, and we do a lot in our lives. We compost our food waste, we recycle and reuse everything we can, which sometimes it's hard to be able to reuse things that most people would just throw away, and you just save them and find a use for them. But that's kind of our conviction in our life, is that we need to be living a life that's taking care of the earth, taking care of the things that God's created, and we're part of that creation, but so is the garden. When we tend to the garden, we're literally just tending to God's creation, and it's just a miracle creation, things that grow. I just love watching the little seeds germinate and come out of the dirt for the first day and just bring life and bring food and bring just joy into our lives. So that is kind of what we're about. I'll tell you more, I'm sure, in the coming days, but we're excited to just be able to share this journey with some of you. I'm just excited. I learn from watching other gardeners do their YouTube and videos that they make. It helps me learn, because I'm a visual learner. I learn by seeing things, and I'm not the best gardener in the world. I'm still learning a lot, but I just hope to share some of my experiences with you and some of my learning opportunities and my failures. And if you guys have anything you want to share in the comments, if you see me doing something wrong, please feel free to share, because I want to learn how to do it right. So for now, this is us. We are the Lanes, the crazy Lanes, right? And we have a podcast called, what's our podcast called?
Life in the Crazy Lane.
Life in the Crazy Lane, and this guy is on the podcast a lot, so you can check that out. Anyway,
I'm on every episode.
You will see and hear my children here, definitely in the background of almost every video, I'm sure, but you will see them periodically as well, and sometimes it might be just me or my husband or both of us or all of us, so we'll see. But it's going to be fun. We're excited to share some of this journey with you guys, so thanks for following along. You say bye?
Bye.